Hello, I'm Faiz. In this video, we'll be presenting about Gabe Newell, who is the CEO and owner of Valve Corporation. Before we go into detail, I'll have my group members introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Hazim bin Hilmi.
Hello, I'm Nabil Shukri.
Hi, my name is Lee Chun Yi.
Hi, my name is Heng In Mei.
Before we go deeper into this topic, we need to understand what is management and who is a manager. Management is the coordination and oversight of the work activities of others so that activities can be done both efficiently and effectively. We have two keywords right here, efficiently and effectively. Efficiently here means the implementation of tasks must be done in the right way. As for effectively, it means right tasks must be done in order to achieve the organizational goals. And then we have a manager, the one who does all the coordination and oversight of all the work activities of others. There are three types of managers: top, middle, and first line managers. Top managers are responsible for making huge decisions for the organization and setting up plans and goals which could affect the entire organization. Middle managers are basically the middleman between top and the first line managers. They make reports of valuable information and suggestions from within the organization. As for first line managers, they are in charge of daily activities of non managerial employees. In this case, Gabe Newell is the top manager, the CEO of this company.
Hello again. I'll be describing the organization that is led by Gabe Newell, which is Valve Corporation. Valve was founded in 1996 by Gabe and Mike Harrington after they both left their postings at Microsoft. Valve was created as a video game developing, publishing, and digital distribution company. Their first headquarters was based in Kirkland, Washington. However, in 2003, they reincorporated as Valve Corporation and moved their headquarters to Bellevue, Washington. In 2006, they moved to downtown Bellevue, Washington to acquire a bigger office space by signing a 9-floor lease deal. Moving on, when we think about a successful company like Valve, we often wonder how did it get its name. Well, Valve's name was mostly influenced when Gabe and his team were in the development of the logo and slogan for the company. During the production, Valve wanted their models to be heavily set. Therefore, Valve used casting agencies in search of these models. However, the casting agencies only sent models who were attractive. Thus, Valve requested the casting agencies to search in the streets of Seattle to find models who fit Valve's criteria. In this search, they found two models. One was a thin guy with a goatee, and the other was a heavily built guy. These two were used in the company's logo as they demonstrated the concept of open your eyes and open your mind. This logo was the main influence of the company's name, as there is a valve in the thin guy's eye and a valve at the back of the head of the heavily built guy. As mentioned earlier, Valve develops and publishes games as a digital distribution company. Their very first game was Half-Life, which is a horror-themed 3D action game. This game's production started as soon as Valve was incorporated in 1996. At the Electronic Entertainment Expo in 1997, they demonstrated the game mechanics, and the game became a major success. Due to the success of the game, they added their very first expansion pack to the game, where it would give them an opportunity to develop a sequel to the Half-Life series. As envisioned, they created a sequel in 2004 which included several new interactive features. Moreover, in 2003, Valve created Steam for the purpose of functioning as a digital content distribution platform before app stores were available. Initially, Steam was only developed as Valve had issues updating their games. Therefore, Steam was used for the purpose of updating their games automatically. However, the update could only be performed if it was a Valve game and if you had a stable internet connection. As it began to evolve, Steam allowed its users to download games and other softwares from their virtual libraries. Eventually, Steam became a platform where you can purchase third-party published games, gift those games to others, and play them with friends. It is now regarded as one of the most popular gaming platforms around the world compared to the likes of PlayStation and Xbox.
Now I want to present background information about Gaben Newell. First is about his family members. His parents lived in shelter after gave birth to him in 1962. After that, in 1996, he married with Lisa and both of them have two children, which also include Gray. The second information is about his education. He spent about 3 years studying at David Senior High School and successfully graduated in 1980. Then he continued study at Harvard University before dropped out to work in 1983. After that, the third information is about his working experience. He spent about 13 years work at Microsoft Corporation. He had acted as the manufacturer of the first three Windows operating system direct. After that, he left Microsoft Corporation and worked on computer game code in Richardson. Afterward, Newell established Leaf Software with another Microsoft worker who called Mike Harrington. Both of them used their cash to fund wealth by developing the Half-Life and Ghost Sky game engine. The achievement of Leaf is named Newell, the name you should know, in December 2010 mainly because of his work on Steam and the partnership with several major developers. In addition, he also headed to Academy of Interactive Arts and Science Hall of Fame. Besides that, he achieved the BAFTA Fellowship Award in March 2013 for his contribution to the video game market. He also named him between 100 wealthiest people in the US in October 2017. In addition, the job title of Gabe was the president, owner, and CEO of Web Software. Lastly, his responsibilities and duties are involved running program management for Windows 2 update, launching the multimedia decisions of the business, and leading effort on the knowledge hardware PC.
During the upscale of Steam, Gaben Newell found out the majority of Valve users have access to a high-speed internet connection, which caused him to think that in the following year it will begin to rise with the projectile growth in bandwidth, and realized that Steam would be providing players with content more rapidly compared to distributing CD games physically. Therefore, Gaben decided to develop the idea, and Steam succeeded under his estimation and has achieved its previous objective. As Steam was evolving, Gaben wanted to create a system that safeguards the user information. Therefore, he came up with the idea of SteamGuard. SteamGuard play a role in protecting user accounts from anonymous authorities using their two-factor authorization system that protect personal information. Two-factor authentication has two types, which are email verification and mobile verification. In email verification, Steam sends an email that contains a safety code to verify your login access, whereas mobile verification will send a random generate safety code in the mobile apps to verify your login. In November 2019, Steam introduced the Steam Remote Play, which allowed you to play games remotely to other devices such as phone, laptop, or other TV screen, which project the games captured on the screen. Moreover, Steam also added Remote Play Together, where one of the users open their games and others can join to play together just with the internet. On top of that, Steam also have working with NVIDIA on the innovation of technology called Steam Cloud Play, which launched its beta in May 2020 that allowed users to play AAA rated game where users don't need to afford the high cost of hardware. This allowed users to play game with a PC that doesn't have high specification and allow user to play the game without downloading the game because which is done by live streaming the game.
So, what makes Gabe Newell different from any other managers? What makes him a great creative thinker as a manager of the multi-billionaire company Valve Corporation? Well, Gabe Newell and his colleagues had created and established a very unique management structure that is basically boss free. This means that there are basically no managers between staff and executives to direct the employees to do their work. With the utilization of this management structure, there are only a very few amounts of formal positions that exist in this company, and those are the top executives such as the board of directors. And in addition, due to the boss-free nature of this management structure, which Gabe Newell had implemented into his company, there are very little centralized plans being introduced to the employees. Projects and plans are expected to be created and decided by the employees themselves, which can be done through the formation of self-organizing teams and rotating team leaders. Now, next up is flexibility and free will. The management structure which Gabe Newell had creatively came up with, it also prioritizes flexibility and free will. This is because whenever employees have decided to conduct a particular project which had been created by themselves, any sort of formal approval from the higher up is not required. This means that the employees have the flexibility to create and conduct projects for the company whenever they want to. Additionally, employees also have the free will to join other existing projects. With the combination of both free will and flexibility of this management structure, projects can be carried out and completed quicker in an efficient and effective manner. Now, moreover, this management structure also contains a very unique yet efficient grouping system which Gabe Newell himself calls the cable system. In case you didn't know, the word cables is basically a fancy word to describe project groups. But the interesting thing about this is that formation of cables are not created by any level of management of the company, but instead they are strictly formed by the employees themselves. I say that this is efficient because most of the time employees have the most common understanding between one and another, which makes it efficient because they already know which one is the right person fit to do the job. In the cable system also, employees are allowed to leave and join other cables at any time. Subsequently, even though there are lack of hierarchy in the company, there are, however, some level of management within cables, but the positions are only temporary and informal. I'll give you an example. An employee might be a project leader in one cable and then might end up being a normal programmer if he wishes to join another cable. Depends on his skills and project's needs.
Valve Corporation under Gabe implements stack ranking system, a cultural practice in a firm which encourages its employees to give ratings on the performance of their peers. This helps them to acknowledge their weaknesses and work on it to improve their performance. Gabe Newell is still the owner of the company and he managed to avoid from dictating the company's future goals. In terms of funding, Valve makes no demand for external capital thanks to the huge inflow of revenue coming from Steam, which allows them to leisurely explore on a variety of projects without having to fear running out of funds. There is no specific department which focuses on hiring new employees, as every employee is involved in this process. It is a slow and deliberative process because the culture emphasizes on what contributions can be made by employees to their projects. Therefore, employees are encouraged to point out their views and sit in on interviews to determine whether the new applicant meets the cultural standards in the company. Discussions will be held before deciding to fire an underperforming employee. The discussions also focus on offering opportunities to turn things around by giving evaluation so that the underperforming employee can make some improvements. In many cases, many of those who got fired were not able to fit in with the bossless culture in the company. A consensus among all employees is crucial before firing an employee, as Valve is a flat hierarchy corporation.
In conclusion, Gabe Newell is a role model to anyone who is interested in the gaming industry, as his creation of Steam has revolutionized PC gaming in general. His methods of managing a company are rarely seen in other companies, as the implementation of cabals, which is a flat hierarchy that allows his employees to be free-willed and flexible depending on the circumstances. Currently, he is considered to be one of the best managers in the world as he leads the biggest game distribution companies worldwide.